Hola amigos! Welcome to another episode of Eating with Andy. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make a dessert that will take you straight to heaven as soon as you eat it. It's called Tocino del Cielo. Tocino means bacon, del cielo means from heaven. This dessert was introduced by the Spanish when they colonized Peru, and it was made by nuns with leftover eggs, hence the name. It's a custard that's similar in texture to a flan. So let's get started. Preheat your oven to 150 degrees Celsius, fan forced. And the first thing we're gonna make is that caramel, which is gonna coat the entire dessert. What we're gonna need is a bread mold, also known as a terrine mold. I'll leave the exact dimensions in the description below. And we've got another big tray here. Grab a tray that you can fit the bread mold in, and it's not too tight because we're gonna be baking this at bain-marie, filling it with water. So you wanna have enough space there for that. So we've got our molds, let's get started on our caramel. Combine 1 cup of sugar with half a cup of water in a pot. Now let's bring this to a boil. Let your caramel boil. Don't be tempted to stir. The temperature is so high, if you put something like a metal or wooden spoon, it will change the temperature and make your caramel seize and crystallize. If that happens, you'll have to start over again. Boil for around 10 minutes, or if you've got a candy thermometer, until it reaches 170 degrees Celsius. Keep a close eye because once it reaches 160, you will see a color change very quickly. Our caramel is done. We're gonna pour it into our bread mold. And with some oven mitts, always use oven mitts because it's a very hot caramel. I will make your mold very hot. Just swirl the caramel around. Coat as much of the sides as possible in your mold. Because once you put the mixture in, that caramel and everything it touches, it will make it nice and glossy. I'm happy with that. We're gonna set this aside until it cools down completely. Now it's time to work on our custard mix. Open 3 cans of condensed milk and place them into a mixing bowl. Now we're gonna add 8 room temperature eggs into our bowl. Now we're gonna grab a whisk and we're gonna break up the egg yolks as gently as we can. We don't wanna be adding any air into our mix because this will create air bubbles when it bakes. As you can see, I'm just twisting the whisk to incorporate everything gently. Now we're gonna add 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Mix it through a little bit with a spatula. And now we're gonna strain this mix twice into 2 separate bowls. This will ensure that we get rid of any egg bits and it's as smooth as possible. You're gonna see how hard it is to strain the first time. It's grabbing all those little bits of egg that we do not want in our beautiful custard. Just grab your spatula and mix it through to kind of get everything going. Give it a few taps to help the mix go through. Now we're gonna strain our mix for a second time just to ensure that it's completely smooth. Clean bowl, clean sieve. You'll see how easy this mix goes through now. Our custard mix is looking nice and smooth. The last ingredient we're gonna add is 1 cup of toasted coconut shreds. Mix it through with a clean spatula, gently. Remember, we don't wanna add any air bubbles into our mix. Grab some alf foil and cover your mold. I've covered the bottom part of our mold, and I've got enough room to pick it up and place it into our big tray. Now we're gonna pour in our custard mix. Pour some water into our outside tray, enough so it comes halfway up the tray. Our Tocino del Cielo is ready to bake. We're gonna bake it at 150 degrees Celsius, fan forced, for an hour and a half. As this bakes, the coconut shreds will rise and they will create a gorgeous macaroon-like crust that's gonna be nice and chewy. This is gonna look spectacular. Our Tocino del Cielo is out of the oven. I've let it cool down for 30 minutes. Now it's time to place it in the fridge for at least 3 hours before we can unmold it. Okay, so our Tocino del Cielo has been cooling in the fridge for 3 hours. Now it's time to unmold it. Remove the alf foil. Place your mold in the same big baking tray you baked it in. Pour boiling water in the big tray. Just enough to come halfway up again. Let that sit for a couple of minutes until the caramel releases. This dessert is often just enjoyed as it is now. I personally like to add a few other little elements just to finish it off nicely. I like to add some passionfruit sauce. I think the acidity goes so well with the sweetness. It's simply 1 cup of passionfruit pulp. I've added 1 tablespoon of sugar and I've let that boil for around 5 minutes and then just let it cool down in the fridge. I also add some lime zest all over the top, sea salt, and finish it off with some toasted shredded coconut. That's it. This dessert has very few ingredients. All you need is a little bit of patience. Now I'm gonna give this a try. Wow, the texture of this Tocino del Cielo is sublime. It's like a flan. It's just set, that gorgeous caramel adds a beautiful glossy sweetness, and that coconut, it's created a gorgeous macaron-like texture that's nice and chewy. The passion fruit really cuts through the sweetness, and I really like those toasted coconut flakes at the end. They add a beautiful, nice little crunchy element. This dessert is heavenly. As always, thank you so much for watching, everyone. I hope you've enjoyed this video and you love the recipe. I also wanted to say a big thank you to all my subscribers. To celebrate 1,000 subscribers, I'm giving away some Peruvian staples to help you recreate my recipes at home, so check out my Instagram for all the details. Please like and subscribe. I'll see you soon with some more recipes. Adios, amigos.